All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
I was going to say first, Adam, that those online can mute until they might have a question for you later.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, welcome everyone to the May 19th program meeting for the Licking County Computer Society. This week, I myself, Adam Drake, will be covering the topic of internet scams, how to avoid them. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. Probably. All right, if you guys could let me know when you can see the screen, that would be appreciated.
We can see it.
See it? And now we can.
Yeah, there's always a delay on the screen here in the room. All right, so as I mentioned, this month's presentation is on staying safe online, a guide for avoiding internet scams. By myself, with a little help from my AI friend, Google Gemini. If you guys haven't heard of Google Gemini, Google Gemini is like the Google version of ChatGPT. So, firstly, it's a little bigger here. What is an internet scam? An internet scam is any attempt to defraud a person online. Scammers use various methods to trick their victims, and their goals can range from stealing money to acquiring personal data like your password or credit card numbers to ultimately steal money. Be cautious of any unsolicited online communication that seems too good to be true or urges you to act fast. Waiting for the next slide to load here on the local screen. All right, some common types of internet scams. Phishing scams involve emails, text, or social media messages. They basically try to trick you into clicking on a link or attachment, and if they can get you a step further, to enter your personal information. Their ultimate goal is to steal your personal information, such as passwords or credit card numbers. So an example of this, you get an email from your bank, but it's not really your bank, and the URL link that they have an email for you to click because it's an emergency and you have to enter your credentials would be a URL that takes you to a website that is not part of your bank's website. So you go in, put your information in, and then the bad guys have it. Another common type of internet scams, once the screen loads, are investment scams. These type of scams promise high returns with little risk. They're often fake, completely fake. You're not investing in anything at all, and they will result in you losing your money. So high return with little risk. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I've seen these get as elaborate as people thought they were investing in cryptocurrency, and the people that were defrauding them would send them updates with their account balance over time. Oh, here's what your money's up to. Oh, here's what your money's up to. If you put in more money now, it's going to get even higher. And I mean, so these fraudsters would stick with the scam for a long period of time. Another type of internet scam is, waiting for the slide to load, online shopping scams. They involve fake websites or sellers. They take your money, but they never deliver a product. You can protect yourself from these by shopping at secure websites. Always look for that LockPad or HTTPS in the URL where you're shopping. Do your research on the website before you place your order. If you're searching for a product you want to purchase and a website comes up that you don't recognize with a great price, go out and search for that website elsewhere on the internet to see if you can see reviews where people will pipe up and say, yes, it's a real website, or no, it isn't. And it says on here, it says never give out your social security number, but really if you're shopping online and especially if you're on a new website and they're asking for information, ask yourself, do they really need that information? I can't think of many instances where an online store would need your social security number, for example. So just always keep that in mind. Another type of internet scam is a romance scam. These involve scammers building online relationships with people. They gain their trust and they extort money from them. I think often you hear of older men with younger women online, or they think it's a younger woman, but it's not. A lot of these start with, the ones I've seen a lot of are ones where it starts with a text message where they pretend to be texting the wrong person on accident. And then they sucker you into thinking they're a person, usually a young lady, that's really bored and interested in you, and eventually going to ask for some money or some gift cards or what have you. Another common type of internet scams are tech support scams. These usually involve a scammer who calls you. I've received this phone call several times. They'll say they're from Microsoft support. They try to walk you through helping you fix your computer. They'll say, I'm from Microsoft or, and some other company, and say, you have a problem with your computer. Follow these instructions to grant me admin access to your computer. Once they're in, they want your credit card number to fix things that they pretend are broken. And if you don't pay them, they already have local admin rights on your computer and you're already in a real trouble. So if you're not calling asking for technical support, it's not real. Microsoft and any other company, they don't care enough about your personal computer setup to call and help you fix something without you complaining first. So that's never real. Another type of internet scam is a job scam. These involve fake job postings. The major point of these is to collect your personal information. Some of them even try to trick you into paying for job training or application fees. If you have to pay money to start a job, that's usually not a real job. If you're not sure if the job is legit, try calling the company at a published phone number that you know is their real number from their website or otherwise. If the recruiter gave you a phone number in the email where they reached out to you for the job, it could be fake. There's a URL here for the FTC.gov, has a job scams subpage if you want to look into more information there. I know this has happened to places in Licking County. There was a place, my wife's an HR director for a place in Licking County, and someone went on to a popular job hunting site, created a fake listing for that business, which was not, there was nothing real about it. The people that set it up were not real. And so somebody called in wanting to know when they were going to be starting because they gave all their personal information to this person thinking they were going to be working there. So, it happens everywhere. Another common type of internet scam is an inheritance scam. These involve scammers contacting you about an inheritance you never knew existed. They require you to send them money upfront to cover fees or taxes. I guess this is kind of familiar to the old, this is an Arabian prince emailing you because he's got this money he needs to send, but you have to pay him money first before you can get the money. Kind of related to that. But yeah, be wary. If someone you've never heard of is calling to give you a lot of money, it's usually fake. All right, a slightly broader category of internet scams are social media scams. These can involve fake accounts. They can impersonate friends and family members. They will try to trick you into sending money or personal information. And they also involve hacked accounts. So this could either be a fake account with someone that looks like your loved one, or someone can actually hack your loved one's account. So I would say if you get a message from a loved one asking for money, and it's someone that doesn't usually ask you for money, like if I get a text from my kids asking for money, I'm pretty sure that would be real. But if you get one through social media and it's a family member or a friend and it seems kind of odd, call them. If you're close enough for them to ask for money, you probably have their phone number. Call them, just call them, see if it's real. The next type of common internet scam is an impersonation scam. I was talking to my wife about this presentation. She's the one that reminded me to put this slide in here. These are definitely growing more common. This doesn't have to be online. It could be a phone call, text message, or email, or any other type of communication these days. They're basically pretending to be someone else. They ask for money or gift cards, etc. So an example that I've heard of is my grandmother when she was still with us. Someone called and said they were her grandson, and if you're calling an elderly person and you're calling from overseas and you have all the time in the world, you call enough numbers and make up enough grandkid names, and eventually you'll get one that matches. And the person told my grandma, "Oh, this is your grandson. I'm in jail. I need help get money to get out of jail." Wanted her to send a money order, which red flags everywhere. She was in her 90s. She didn't fall for it. She hung up, got a laugh out of her, or whatever. But a lot of people fall for these. Yeah, that's what I said. So definitely, as I mentioned previously, always 100% confirm identity. That who you think you're talking to is who you're talking to, even if they sound the same these days. So I wanted to throw in another subcategory here of legal internet scams. So these are things that are on the internet that could be considered legal depending where you live. The first one is pyramid schemes. A lot of these are legal, but you'll lose in the end if you try to make money on these. Pyramid schemes, they focus on recruitment. Participants are pressured to buy products or services to qualify for commissions, and it's based on your recruit's sales, not the actual sales of the products or services. So if you're ever invited to participate in a program where you're selling products and you're recruiting other people to sell products, it's probably a pyramid scheme. The next legal internet scam category I had on here is work from home scams. These could be legal or not legal, but they offer unrealistic income promises for minimal effort. They often require upfront fees, and they could even be pressuring you to buy products to resell from home and call it a work from home opportunity. Some of these can be legal. They might have actual work for you to do, but you have to pay so much money to even do the work that you're not making money. So another thing to look out for. Again, if it's too good to be true. Another type of legal internet scam would be a rebate or coupon scam. These used to be a lot more popular than they are now. I'm sure they still exist in some places, but they'll lure you in with an advertised deep discount. They'll make it basically difficult or impossible to actually redeem the rebate or to use the coupon. And the whole purpose is they figure enough people won't push it hard enough to where they'll make money on the free item, but it's really not end up being free. So, I mean, if something's free but you have to pay for it or give your credit card number, I'm wagering that it's not really free. Another quote unquote legal internet scam is a hidden fee scam. These type of scams advertise low upfront costs and may bury additional fees in the fine print, significantly increasing the overall cost of the product. And the last legal internet scam, and you guys maybe have seen these online in various formats, are online religious scams. If they're guaranteeing a miracle or immediate blessing, or they're pressuring you to donate money, or there's vague or missing information about the organization, it's a new organization you've never heard of, or they're asking for your personal financial information, those are red flags that it could be an online release. The next slide I had here are just a few recent examples from the news. I'm going to export this to a PDF and send it to the group to be published somewhere where everyone can access it. But there's a link here, Chinese network behind one of the world's largest online scams. There was a vast web of fake shops touting designer brands. They took money and personal details from 800,000 people in Europe and the US. That's a lot of people that got duped, or and they received either nothing or they received fake items. Another one, there was a Miami student whose package scam came crashing down a set. So this person was a gifted coder who could have gotten a job at a tech company. He decided to go in another direction. there was someone called the Yahoo Boy cyber criminals. They are openly running dozens of scams across Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, TikTok, YouTube, and more. And that's another one. And then the last example I have here, these are all from the last month or so that I found on online news. Business email scam hits New Jersey hard in 2023. So business email compromise scams, also called BEC scams, which I've never heard of that category. Actually, I have, and I have an example. I'll give you guys an example after this. Are one of the most financially damaging online crimes, according to the FBI. They work by exploiting the fact that many people rely on email to conduct both personal and professional business. So I can tell you about the example that I heard of that's closely related to this. I didn't know it was called a BEC scam, but I heard recently there's a guy on YouTube named Steve Lato, and he has a web channel called Lato's Law. He's an attorney up in Michigan, and he has a lot of good, mostly legal related stories. And one of those he had was there was someone that was working with a realtor, and the realtor's email server got hacked. Someone had access to all the realtor's email addresses, and they saw an outgoing email from a realtor to the client saying, here's your wire instructions for your real estate that you're purchasing. So they emailed the same person from the realtor's server and said, here's your new wiring instructions. Here's where you actually want to send the money. So when the realtor calls the people the day before the sale and says, hey, where's the $100,000 you were supposed to wire in for this property you're buying? We never got it. They said, oh, we followed your updated wire instructions that you sent the next day. There were no updated wire instructions. And those people are out the money, because if you're wiring $100,000 off seas, there's no way to recoup that money. It's gone. And that's a very real example that I heard recently. And that's an example, I guess, of a business email scam, because the email actually came from the business. So in that case, maybe you'd be better off emailing the real estate agent saying, hey, you sent me different instructions 2 days in a row. Are either of these real? So the next slide here, I wanted to talk about some red flags on spotting an internet scam. Look out for unsolicited contact. Scammers often initiate contact through emails, texts, social media messages, phone calls. Be cautious of unexpected messages, especially those offering deals or claiming that you have won a prize. I actually got one when I pulled in the parking lot here. I'm not even joking. I got a call from an unknown number and it said I had won, I don't know how much money. I just hung up.
Should have recorded it for us.
That would have been nice. I didn't have time to think about it. Be on the lookout for too good to be true offers. If something seems incredibly cheap or profitable with little effort, it is likely a scam. Legitimate opportunities require hard work and investment, unfortunately. Sense of urgency. Scammers will often pressure you to act quickly, creating a false sense of urgency to cloud your judgment and rush you into a decision. In other words, they're saying if you take time to think about whether this is real or not, you're going to lose out. You have to act now. So that's another red flag. Poor grammar and misspellings. This is one I've seen in scam emails. Legitimate companies typically have professional communication. Emails with grammatical errors or typos can be a sign of a scam. Another one I think is that if you get the feeling that the person is not a native English speaker, that can be a red flag, but not always. A lot of people are hiring non-native English speakers. Unfamiliar websites. Be cautious of clicking on links to unfamiliar websites. Scammers often create fake websites that look legitimate to steal your information. Inconsistent branding. Check for inconsistencies in branding, logos, or website design. Legitimate companies will have consistent brand across all their platforms. Fake social media profiles. Scammers may create fake social media profiles to build trust and spread misinformation. Look for a verified badge and a history of posts from the account. So if it's supposed to be a celebrity that wants you to invest in their new thing they found, check for the verified badge on whatever platform you're on. I know Twitter/X has a verified badge. I think those are less trustworthy than they used to be. But if you're looking at Facebook Marketplace and somebody has something for sale nearby, you can look at their personal profile and see how long it's been in existence and whether or not, you know, they're members of various groups and stuff to see how real their account actually looks. Fear tactics are another red flag. Scammers may use fear tactics to pressure you into acting quickly. They might claim your computer is infected with malware or that your account has been compromised and you have to act now before there's more damage, when really acting is going to be what causes the damage. Another red flag is that they pretend that it's a scarce resource that they're trying to sell you, like a limited time offer, only a few spots left, create a sense of urgency and pressure you into decision. And then last, the red flag I have here is emotional appeals. Scammers may try to play on your emotions by using stories of hardship or appeals to charity. Be cautious of requests for money or donations online. So some tips to stay safe online here. Strong passwords. Create strong, unique passwords that for all online accounts enable two-factor authentication for added security when possible. And so when I say unique, every login should have a unique password. I was guilty of for years of using the same password for everything. I stopped that before I got burned, but it's still something you want to avoid. It helps to use a password, what do you call it? Password manager, password vault to, I use Proton Pass for mine. Always verify the sender's identity. Don't click on links or attachments in emails or messages from unknown senders. If a message appears to be from a legitimate company, contact them directly to see if it's real. I've done this before. I've gotten an email that looks legit. There's a link that'll take you to the company's website to view a message. Most of those websites, if you ignore the email and go directly to the website, you'll get an icon or notification somewhere that you have a new message once you log in to the real website if it's real. Don't click suspicious links. Hover over links to see the actual URL before clicking. Be wary of shortened links or those that don't match the displayed text. Be careful what you share online. Don't share your personal information, like your social security number, credit card number, with anyone you don't know and trust online. An example of this was back in my Facebook days. I shared a picture of a building permit that I had approved because I was going to finish the basement of my old house. Well, then somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, you know that picture you shared has your home address in it?" I said, "Oh, whoops." So I cropped the picture to remove my home address. That was something stupid I did. That's just an example of how easy it is to accidentally share personal information online, so be careful. Another tip, keep your software updated. Updating your operating system, web browser, and security software regularly will help you to protect against vulnerabilities. And then report suspicious activity. If you suspect you've encountered a scam, report it to the relevant authorities and the platform where you saw it. And then I said, when in doubt, delete it. If it's real, they'll get a hold of you in another method, especially if they want money. So another slide here just has some online resources. Again, I'll get this saved to a PDF and shared for publication on our website, but these are the URLs for the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC's OnGuard Online website, the FBI's Internet Crime Compliance Center website, and the U.S. Computer Emergency Readiness Team website. Lastly, here's a picture of Virgil. Let me know when you guys can see it. Virgil and I went to, and this is unrelated by the way, went to Lakewood High School again on Friday, gave a presentation to one more class. We gave the presentation to 5 a couple weeks ago, and then we had one more class this afternoon. We went back to give a presentation on desktop Linux, and we had a couple more kids from this class sign up to be members. So it was a fun time. We think they might have learned a little bit. All right, that was a short presentation this week, or this month, but we do have plenty of time for Q&A or cautionary tales from the society if anyone has any. Somebody's got their hand up already. I'm gonna stop sharing so that I can see everybody here. All right, and what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Sandra,
Sandra?
I haven't had a problem, but I've been getting from FedEx.
Messages from FedEx probably saying that,
Shipping information. So you have a package to pick up, right?
Oh,
You
that-
don't respond to this.
is it a text message or an email?
I can go,
I just got that today.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've had that too.
at the post office.
I've had them from the US Post Office. While I've had things I was waiting to come to my house, I've got it. And that's because, most people have, if you're like me, at any given day, you probably have something en route to your house, bottom line, right?
Really,
Yeah, I've had those from the United States Post Office, and I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't even coming through the post office.
I know.
Yeah, so then you go online and look at the tracking data from logging into the website.
Somebody sent me something that's a surprise, or something, and I'm like, dude,
You were smart to question it.
thank you. So,
Yeah, they get pretty fancy with that.
but even on the telephone, don't say your name.
So Terry Worst had some feedback for my presentation. He said, will the poor grammar and misspellings go away with more AI? Look out. Okay, I don't think he was really talking about my presentation. I think he was talking about the poor grammar and misspellings that you see in the communications.
Right.
But yeah, with AI, they will. And I was just thinking, with AI, they can generate, all those emails and text messages with the fraud links going out, and AI can tweak them a little bit here, a little bit there, see what they get most responses on, learn. That's what AI is great at, is learning. So don't share everyone's email by putting in the CC line. Use the BCC line. That's a good one. John K. Terry posted it, but he's thanking John K. So John Kennedy must have told him that. I'll tell you an example. When I send if I send a mass email to my team at the bank where I work, I know when to put it in BCC because I don't want everyone else to see all the responses that I'm seeing. That's another reason to use in BCC. But yeah, to hide everyone else's email addresses, that's a way to help other people's information remain private.
Anita has a hand up.
All
I
right.
do. I sent John a text about something I've been getting from a Facebook friend that has been coming to my phone. Oh no, it's been coming to my iPad since I've been here. And it says, I'm going to miss him so much. And I really feel like it's a scam too. I don't know if you have your phone close, John. A text I sent to you, I was going to send it to Adam, but I don't have his text. I don't have your phone number.
Is it from someone you know?
It's not from somebody. It's and I don't know if you probably can't read it. I have it on my phone. It's a Facebook from these two people. I know both of them. And it says, I am going to miss him so much. And I've got a half a dozen of them from different Facebook friends, which makes me think that it's a scam because
Yeah.
it's like, who are you talking
like-
about?
You know why you have it from so many people? They probably all clicked on the message and interacted with the person. So the more people that get it, the more copies you get from your friends that fell for it.
Apparently, yes, because I got at least a half a dozen from
Yeah.
different friends. And
A
it's
lot of the times
it-
they'll end up getting access to your account and sending the exact same message on your behalf. Yeah. I do remember seeing those on Facebook, very similar items. So yeah, sounds fake to me. I
sounds
think
fake to me too.
Dave DeRolf, you had your hand up, sir.
Yeah, I think obviously all of our members, perhaps except you, are old enough to be receiving Social Security, and thus I'm sure have switched from being directly under Social Security to a Medicare Advantage plan. Okay, Medicare rather than Social Security.
Right.
And the government has an open season. It starts sometime in October and ends December 7th. This opens up every year where if you want to change plans, that's the time to do it. Yet, all the time, every month, I'm getting messages about changing or looking at a different Medicare Advantage plan.
Yes. Some people would say that Medicare Advantage in itself is a scam.
Well, I don't think
I don't
so.
know enough about it, but I have heard that it's a scam. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And I also wouldn't be surprised if the government was selling the information for Medicare recipients to businesses for that kind of spam advertising. Kind of like when you buy a new house or buy a new car, you start getting all this spam because it's a public record. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the impression maybe it's not necessarily due to the government selling information, but somehow somebody's just sending out these messages to,
Well, I mean, if you're on Medicare Advantage and it's a private company, they could be selling your information. It's hard to tell. You have to read the 10,000 word privacy policy to be sure. Get out your magnifying glass.
yeah.
Anyone else? What other questions or comments do we have, or recent examples of scams?
You showed a slide of government agencies. They're not available for verifying a specific email, scam email.
I don't think that's the service they provide. I think that the FTC and the FBI would be more resources for kind of like what we had in the slide deck, how to watch out for scams, but also as a way of reporting a specific scam if something is a scam.
Isn't there a website that you query a specific scam?
I know there's a website out there called Have I Been Pwned, PWNED, where you can put in your email address and it'll say whether your email address and the other information has been compromised. But I saw that on a YouTube video after I created this deck, so it didn't make it in.
And how do they do that?
A lot of these, when there's a scam, a lot of the times they will release or sell the data on the black market online. And so this Have I Been Pwned website will basically gather all of that information. You put in your email address, and if your email address matches any of the information from any of these data leaks, they'll tell you which ones and who to contact about it. But I mean, be careful with those websites too, because there's probably fake websites out there asking for your information to see if it was leaked.
And they fresh web email address here.
Yeah.
Hello, Adam. Mary Frances here.
Hey, Mary Frances. I was just talking to your husband.
Well, that's great. Now I know who he is.
He stopped the search.
I called John Kennedy with this information weeks ago. I got an email that said they had recordings of me visiting my porn site and that they were sending out copies of this to all my friends. They called them friends. And I was actually trying to decide whether to push on the key and write back, go for it.
Yeah, it's probably good you didn't, because that would just confirm to them that you're a real person, right?
Exactly what John said.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought that would have been quite fun to look at, I think.
I have heard of those types of scams where they'll send out random text messages or random numbers saying, hey, we see what you've been doing online. Either you pay us or we're going to tell everybody. They don't give any specifics about who you are or what they really saw you doing online. So obviously it's fake. And if you gave money and they really did have the information, they might send it out anyway. So.
And the fun part with Mary Frances, she doesn't have a camera, so they couldn't see what she was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about websites that you can get into that can pick up all that information. Now, luckily, I'm a past government employee and they hacked the government. So they got millions of people's information.
So you get the free My ID Care
Yeah,
website.
I've got free
membership.
ID care. And
Yeah, I have the same
I've
thing.
gotten notified numerous times. They have all my email address, my phone numbers, and even alternate numbers, Sherry's number, everything else is already out there. They warned me. And some of the places they got it from, I don't even know that information, except for the last one, AT&T. AT&T got hacked just recently.
I saw that in the news.
Okay.
Yep, that's what brought up, that's the AT&T hack story is where I saw that Have I Been Pwned website.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, I got notified by Experian and my ID, and now I'm getting 40 to 50 spam emails every
Oof.
day.
Yeah,
Every day.
I had a certain clearance at one point in time for that same leak, so my ID care, I've had it for at least 10 years. Is it lifetime membership?
Well, they switched companies, but it's still
Yeah, I get emails like monthly, like for
up to whatever.
what's
Used to be just sexual predator.
yeah, it's monthly for predators that move in your area, but anytime there's like an inquiry against my credit report or anything, I get an email, like even if it's me getting a new credit card or whatever.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it's only gonna
getting
get
told for
worse.
that.
The way I look at it, just so everybody knows, the way I look at it, it's only gonna get worse. The
Mhm.
more websites you're on, the more places you are for anything. If they get hacked, whatever information's there, they pretty well have it. Hopefully they just don't have the key is your password.
Or your 2-level authentication, but now they can spoof the SIM card on your mobile phone and have us text into your number, but it's their phone.
Oh, okay, I don't wanna hear that.
That's true. But it's still safer to use 2-factor authentication when it's an option.
It's like, oh.
Typically, you're not going to be a big enough target for them to spoof your SIM card from your phone.
Yeah, well, let's hope, because that's the last shot you got, really.
It's kind of like Linux, security through obscurity. Nobody knows who Adam Drake is, so I don't have to worry about it. Knock on wood.
Scary.
Of course, putting my name out here on YouTube, somebody might see this as a challenge. It's
Well,
not.
that's the other problem. Yeah, YouTube, you got Facebook, all this other stuff.
Yep. It's even scarier for the kids, you know. I saw a video of a guy that this girl was on YouTube. I can't remember what she was doing, like opening presents or, you know, testing out electronics or whatever. And he saw her when she was 8, and this showed that it was this YouTube video of the police coming because he came to her house like 5 years later and was at the foot of her driveway trying to get her to come out and talk to him. And she was 13 at the time, and her parents were really scared. And she didn't do anything wrong. But, go ahead, Dave.
If any of you have an occasion to sign on to your tax account with the IRS, I did this when I was signing on the IRS website, I don't know, a year or so ago, and had to go through an authentication that was very extensive. And I thought, well, this is a good thing, really. I had to take a picture of my driver's license, both sides of it, upload it to the IRS, and do the 2-step in addition to the 2-step authentication.
That's a good thing if it's really the IRS website.
Yeah, it's irs.gov is where I started. So
There you go. Yeah, I know the state of Ohio has a new ID platform they're using that's a lot more extensive than what they used to have, and it crosses over from Ohio's taxation department to BMV and so on. But yeah, it's a lot more elaborate and hopefully more secure than it used to be.
Is it a bear to get right?
It is, but but it makes you feel better that they're actually requiring all that information. Makes it harder for somebody else to impersonate you. Right?
yeah.
Anyone else have any questions or comments about this fantastic topic? All right. Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate the active conversation with you guys. Everett's going to end the recording, and then we'll get on with the door prizes, not a raffle.